Now on BBC One, top football action with Desmond Lynam and Match of the Day.
Good evening. We were very careful in our selection of FA Cup matches tonight. Actually, we got dead lucky. We were at the only 3 games played. They took the covers off at Elm Park for Reading to entertain the big guns of Manchester United.
Here's Cole. That's Andy Cole. Oh, shaved the post.
They swept the snow away from White Hart Lane for Spurs against the Wolves.
Ball. Goodman. Oh, sweeping play by Wolves. This is Osborne. Atkins ahead of him. Still they come with Goodman.
And the underpitch heating at Goodison ensured that Port Vale would get their chance against Everton.
Oh, he's done well here. McCarthy, and again McCarthy! It hit the defender on the line.
Premiership against the First Division in each case. All the day's other ties were casualties of the weather. Alan and Trevor with us to enjoy what turned out to be 3 highly entertaining games. Right, the first of our Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup ties then. The cup holders Everton had a tough time getting past Second Division Stockport in round 3. Port Vale had knocked out Crystal Palace at the second time of asking. Our man at Goodison is Tony Gubba.
For a little over £1,000 in running costs, the undersoil heating has produced a perfect pitch to guarantee that this cup tie takes place despite the Arctic conditions. And that will certainly be a benefit to Everton, who are on a good run of results. Their team today remaining unchanged since the second half of the cup tie against Stockport, when they came from 1 down to win, and then they won again away at Arsenal last weekend. And Graham Stewart finds himself currently Everton's top goal scorer with 11. Port Vale became the first team to take a point off the Division 1 leaders Derby in 3 months, when they drew 1-1 last Saturday, and they've got a lot of FA Cup experience in the side. Number 4, Ray Walker, scored the winner for Port Vale when they put Spurs out of the cup in this 4th round 8 years ago. And number 6, Neil Aspin, played in 17 FA Cup ties for Leeds, including a semi-final. Referee Mike Reid of Birmingham just trying to keep himself warm. And Everton had a real scare in the last round of the cup when they twice led here at home against Stockport County. Finally were held to a 2-2 draw and only went through after that dramatic replay victory. But there's a growing belief around Goodison Park that they may be on their way for another good cup run. The team has certainly had some good results of late. Unbeaten in the last 7 matches, in which they've scored 17 goals. Dave Watson, the captain, man of the match at Wembley. McCarthy, who was dispossessed. Well, it's number 4, Ray Walker, who's placed it, but certainly looks beyond the sort of distance from which he might fancy a crack at Neville Southall. Just punts it in instead. That's well redirected, but they've got a corner, Port Vale. There must have been a second touch after his glancing header off Watson. Coyle taking up a position right alongside Neville Southall. Well, they took it short to McCarthy. Now back to Guppy. Walker. Oh, he's done well here. McCarthy, and again McCarthy! It hit the defender on the line. I think that was John Ebrell, and it would have been in, and I'm not sure Ebrell really knew about it. It just seemed to strike him. Barry Horn. Everton. And here's Ablett. And now Amakachi. And Motson's facing his own goal, will surely decide to give it back to Neville Southall. But that's a scare for Everton, and that looked all ends up a goal for Port Vale. Well, there were a nice little turn there, first of all, by McCarthy. Then he nicked it over Watson, and it just seemed to hit Everton, who was covering the goal line. Oh, it was a poor ball by Andy Porter, and now Port Vale could well pay the price. Kanchelskis on the inside, his left foot. Well, you've seen him do that so often. Drifting in from a wide position, seems to be going nowhere sometimes across the face of goal, and suddenly the swivel and the strike. Russell White was grateful that it came straight to him. Stewart helps him on. Ferguson, nice little touch. Amakachi skips away from Walker. Now Kanchelskis. Amakachi's touch has given it him back. They're in a good position here, but he chose to knock it to the back post, and the three Everton players have all come to meet him at the near. Took the wrong option. That's short again. Here's Ferguson, surely now. Well, it's a comedy of errors at the moment. Andy Hill with a back pass that always looked to be short. Duncan Ferguson ready to gobble it up, but he hit it in a hurry. Surely you have to go down as the clearest chance so far. Kanchelskis into Ferguson. Ebro. Here's Ferguson. Barry Horn. Hunting for the ball with relish. Well, that's a poor kick now by Southall. They're all at it. Here's McCarthy. Boyle cannoned off the defender. It's a corner. He hit it very crisply. Former Southampton apprentice, who did make 14 appearances for the South Coast club. But both defences guilty at the moment of providing chances on a platter for the opposition. Taken short. Guppy. That was nicked off him, and the goal kick. Joe Royal now down on the bench to get a closer look at the action. Never looks as if he's enjoying it. Walker. There's Tamford. Russell White. McCarthy. Oh, he's got the beating of Ablett. And he's got time to get right to the penalty area and have a good long look. It's here! Boyle off! His touch let him down at the crucial moment. He struck the ball previously as crisply as you would like, but then when McCarthy delivered right across the 6-yard box, it's just a tap-in, isn't it? And somehow Martin Boyle has missed an absolutely open goal. Well, it was on his left foot. If memory serves me right, the earlier strikes have been with his right foot. Kanchelskis, here's Amakachi. Porter on his shoulder. The linesman has signalled corner. got Watson, they've got Ferguson, they've got Craig Shortap as well. There's no shortage of bite in Everton's attack here. Graham Stewart. Watson underneath. Well won. Oh, good save. Amakachi. Everton are relieved to take the lead. It was a fine save, one-handed from Musselwhite from the initial header. But as the ball drops, Amakachi was first to it. Watson won it. Quite a lot of power in the header. And really before the keeper could get back to his feet, Amakachi was onto it. Everton, one suspects, to their considerable relief, ahead by that goal from Amakachi, his 5th of the season. Well, I wonder how Martin Foyle feels at this moment, the Port Vale number 9. Foyle, this is Naylor. To run at Watson and go outside him. Still Naylor. Off the heels of the defender. Vale have a corner. And Ray Walker has placed it. Was easily covered by Gary Ablett. Half-time report really revolves around 2 players. Martin Foyle, who should have scored. Amakachi did. The better chance appeared to be that which fell to the Port Vale player, but side-footing it well wide of a gaping goal. Amakachi reacting quickly when the ball was knocked up by Musselwhite, beating the defenders to it to score quite comfortably. Everton start the second half. So far, so good. In a cup campaign that so far hasn't pitted them against substantial opposition. Not when you consider the teams that they beat to win the trophy last season. Newcastle, Tottenham and Man United, one after another. And Port Vale have made a change at half-time. Andy Hill has been replaced by Ian Bogie, number 14, in a midfield position. And it looks as though Porter has dropped to right back to replace Andy Hill. Stewart. Kanchelskis gets it back to him well. There's Parkinson. Just out off Guppy, so Everton have a corner. Oh, it was a header by Griffiths. Amakachi, they've hit the post twice and off the line. Somehow Vale survived. Or did they? Amakachi off his shins, right into the keeper, and Everton looked bewildered. Oh, how did the goal survive? Ferguson swivels to hit the ball first time, off the post, Amakachi onto it, back off the post, then Ablett. And with the goalkeeper beaten, Tankard clearing it off the line. Here's Bogie. Walker. McCarthy. Not being quite the influential figure so far in this second half. John McCarthy that he was in the first. Everton just tightening the marking on him. Oh, he slipped Stewart beautifully. Naylor! Well, it was a fine attack, and it was a nice bit of skill, again, by John McCarthy. He left Graham Stewart for dead. A little drop of the shoulder, and he was away. Long look, picked out Naylor, who, under pressure from Watson, glanced it high and wide. But they're continuing to make chances, and Everton's still only leading by that one goal. Guppy. Just clipped the back of Naylor. Foyle! Yes! At last! It's 1-1. And Martin Foyle makes amends for the first half miss. But again, you have to admire the build-up play. The ball by Guppy. And the way in which Tony Naylor knocked it in with the outside of his right foot from a left winger's position. Foyle scores his 6th goal of the season. And yet again, in an FA Cup tie at Goodison against lower league opposition, Everton, having taken the lead, have been pegged back. Well, Foyle played his football with Southampton, where he began as an apprentice, then later Aldershot and Oxford United, before his move to Port Vale. Looks like Anders Limpar has taken off the tracksuit shortly to join the action. Well, Everton make a double substitution in response to the equaliser. Ablett and Amakachi go off, and on come Anders Limpar and Andy Hinchcliffe. Well, in Hinchcliffe and Limpar, Everton have now got 2 wide players down that left side who can knock in very good crosses. Maybe they won't need it. Here's Ebrel, the hero against Stockport, with that sensational goal in the replay that secured the 3-2 win. But he dragged that across goal. Just for a moment, it looked as though Musselwhite might have touched it. Hansen just making sure it went all the way to Southall. Bogey won it. McCarthy. Again, those quick feet, but Horn was snapping at him. Here's Ferguson. He's peeled off very well to the left. Ebrel. It's going to go in. It's not. It's off the line. A super clearance. Horn shot, and they've survived again. Well, there was a clearance there, which I think was by Alan Tankard, the left back. Off the heels to Ebrel, whose shot was saved. Kanchelski's just about to run it in. Somehow Tankard hooked it out. Porter was pushed. Andy Hinchcliffe. Everton in a hurry to get the ball back into play. John Rudge wants everybody back to defend. Let's not surrender what we have. And that's a 1-1 draw at the moment. Limpar. Oh, he's dropped it! Ferguson puts it in. And, well, your heart goes out to the goalkeeper, Paul Musselwhite. He just looked a tiny bit casual. He wasn't under pressure from Ferguson, but he never had the ball in his grasp. At full stretch, dropped it right to the feet of Ferguson. And you wonder if Everton's FA Cup run this season is somehow blessed. A sensational winner from John Ebrel in that replay against Stockport, immediately after Stockport had made it 2-2. And now a goal that puts them ahead 2-1, and we're counting the game down into seconds. But poor Paul Musselwhite, former Portsmouth and Scunthorpe player, with a real howler. Limpar was hustled over, free kick. Well, John Rudge knew the urgency of the situation, didn't he, when he was waving players back? He wanted everybody back to defend. in what remained of the match when his side were at 1-1, but even he couldn't have anticipated that his keeper would drop one like that. We're now into the last 60 seconds. It's a goal kick. Well, it's going to take something really heroic from Port Vale now to get themselves back in this. They just haven't got any leeway. There's only time for an attack or two. But maybe Guppy can deliver the perfect cross. Here's Bogey. It was deflected. Oh, Bogey! It's 2-2. Well, what a turnaround again. Bogey controlled it, he steadied himself, he hit it well, but it took a wicked deflection. Southall was isolated, the ball was over his head, and Port Vale supporters were on their feet. Nobody quicker than the manager. Well, who'd be a manager? Heart-stopping incidents. The great prize on the point of being snatched away from Port Vale, and suddenly the substitute Ian Bogey, who used to be an apprentice at Newcastle, for whom he made almost 24 appearances, scores only his second goal of the season. And once again, Everton have led against lower league opposition in a cup tie at Goodison, and they've been pulled back to a 2-2 draw, and it's another replay. Well, last season in the competition, Everton were really imperious. 6 straight wins, no replays to reach Wembley, where they beat Manchester United 1-0 to lift the trophy. This season, it's replays all the way so far. They did the business against Stockport last time, and they're going to have to do it again against Port Vale. And maybe this will prove just a tougher nut to crack. And who can be more relieved than Musselwhite? Dreading the moments in the dressing room, having conceded the match to the opposition with his mistake, and Bogey got him out of jail.
There was only time on the clock, basically, for one more attack, and when that ball came out of the penalty area to your feet, what went through your mind?
Well, like I say, it came from the left-hand side. I'm not quite sure whether it bobbled up and I just struck the ball. Neville would have probably hid his cap on it if it hadn't taken a deflection. And I'm not sure who it hit on the back.
It was John Ebrell, I think.
John Ebrell, yeah, it hit him on the back and just looked over Neville's head. And it's in the back of the net. That's what counts.
Yeah. But you're claiming it?
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
In fact, that's your first FA Cup goal, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, you could be right there, yeah.
Paul, you especially will be delighted at the result.
Yeah, I was happy to see the equaliser go in, having just conceded that goal, which was like a big letdown for myself and the team.
How did it happen?
It was just hung up. I thought he had hold of it, and then like dropped it, and Duncan Ferguson was there, and he's just knocked it straight in.
Because as the cross came over from Limpar, you weren't really under pressure, were you?
No, they didn't even come in and challenge me, Duncan Ferguson. So as far as I'm concerned, it was an easy catch. But don't know, maybe took my eye off it, whatever.
What were your feelings at that moment?
I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. Then it was, you know, your biggest fear, a mistake like that.
And Ian Bogey got you out of jail.
Yeah, it was a great strike. I think it got a bit of a deflection, but it was a great strike. It was in all the way. I was just behind it.
We probably dominated the second half more through endeavour than any great design, but we still should have won it. But having said that, they deserved their second bite at it.
Yeah, I mean, do you have words of credit for Port Vale? Because I mean, they did play extremely well.
They played very well. First half, they could have scored 2 or 3. We were fortunate to be in front. So the game went a topsy-turvy way, really. We were in front when we shouldn't have been. And having said that, we should have won the game second half, but didn't. So, typical cup tie, really.
What does a replay mean to you?
Well, it means obviously a chance to play Everton at home, and obviously the financial side of it will be very good. The chairman will be very happy. Money's a little bit tight, you know. We can't really go away for matches the day before, but obviously we perhaps might be able to do that now.
Everton's undersoil heating on an Arctic day has served up a good playing surface here. What are you going to offer them for the replay?
Oh, well, I mean, on previous cup ties, which the television's been there, against the Tottenhams and the Southamptons, it's been flooded. I shall have to have a word of the fire brigade.
Of all the goal scorers in all the world, it had to be Bogey to get him out of jail there. What did you make of Port Vale today, then? Trevor.
Well, I mean, the game was wonderful entertainment. I'm delighted for John Rudds, the Vale manager, because it's been a long time. They've always tried to play the right way, pass the ball, and of course it relies on a lot of good movement. Up front, I thought Foyle and Naylor pulled Everton all over the place, the two strikers. Guppy did well down the left, because they haven't got a sort of obvious right back at the moment, Everton, with problems. But I thought the right winger, particularly John McCarthy, I mean, he was a handful, particularly the first 45 minutes. But the four of them just chased Everton, and I mean, he's nothing of this little lad. Here, he gets a ball from Ray Walker, is overhit, but he spins quickly. Now, most people would shoot now, flicks it over Dave Watson and just hits the back of the leg of John Ebrell, and that was in the first 5 minutes. That set the tone for every opportunity. They just scampered down the flanks, and here again, Gary Ebrell a bit exposed pace-wise, and McCarthy cuts in, has a look across, and there's 2 or 3 options in there, and poor Martin Foyle won't thank me for just showing that, although of course he did get the equaliser early in the second half. Here again, as the ball's come down the line, watch him let it through his legs, wrong foot, Graham Stewart, and again, although he's a little lad, Tony Naylor took up some good positions, just got underneath that header, but I mean, forever, any opportunity, they'd surge forwards in number. I think they deserved it, as you say, Mr. Bogey then.
Yeah. You think the Everton defence isn't quite up to the mark at the moment then, Alan?
No, I think last year they won the Cup. Everton defence was solid as a rock. This year, they're very in and out. They lost 6 goals and 3 cup ties, and really it could have been 10, 12 quite easily. I don't think the balance is there. You know, they're playing with a recognised right back, and it's easy to point the finger at the back four, but I don't think the 2 in front playing as well as they did last season as well. Last year it was Parkinson and Horn. This year it's Horn and Ebrell. I mean, obviously they're still in it, but it's going to be very, very tough. They've got to tighten up defensively if they're going to, you know, progress in the competition.
Thank you. Well, now it's a Premiership club having the advantage of a home tie against First Division again, with Spurs going into their match with Wolves as third favourites for the Cup at 5-1. Wolves battling away in the lower reaches of Division 1 under new manager Mark McGee. Commentary from John Champion.
It's the 3rd year running that Chris Armstrong has faced Wolves in the FA Cup. His record with Crystal Palace showed 1 win and 1 defeat. The victory was in last year's quarter-final replay, in which he scored twice. Armstrong and Sheringham, between them, have contributed 33 goals to the Tottenham cause so far this season. Gary Mabbott and Clive Wilson are back in the side today. Ronnie Rosenthal and Stuart Nethercott dropped to the bench. Wolves, 5th from bottom of the First Division, welcome back Neil Emblen in central defence. Emblen actually has been a Spurs fan from the age of just 11 when he was coached by Gary Mabbott at one of the club's soccer schools. Next to him is Eric Young, a cup winner way back in 1988 with Wimbledon. Referee David Allison had no qualms about the pitch. Even so, the temperature is forecast to reach only -3. It's definitely a 3-sweater day for everyone except the players. No need for an orange ball, although there wasn't much in it. Spurs are playing from left to right. And this is Dean Austin. Out of Thompson. And the first throw goes Tottenham's way. Form and status tend not to matter too much on occasions like this. Tottenham, 4th in the Premiership, are very strong favourites at the outset. Out of Thompson again, another throw. Andy Thompson, who signed for Wolves on the same day as Steve Bull. Here's Rule Fox. Now Kasky. Thompson. Gary Mabbott has been restored to the Spurs side today after a calf injury. And he's conceded the throw. Richards. It's a searching one for Bull. Edinburgh got there first. Osborne's push and pass. This is Rankin. He does have men to aim for, 3 of them. Still Rankin. Kasky's header. And then that of Edinburgh. Not cleared by Sheringham. Osborne. Oh, comes to Bull. Off Mabbott. Still it's not away. Steve Bull, with the ball at his feet, is a threat to any side. Mark McGee in only his 9th game in charge of Wolves. Just 2 wins so far. And he would say 2 defeats. Stow would have been very happy to let that run out of play. Rankin. Now Goodman's made a run. Calderwood's been caught out. This is Goodman. Austin in the way. Well, if anything, the offender seemed to be Goodman there, and not the Spurs fullback. Emblem. Thompson. Oh, misplaced pass, and this is Wilson. Armstrong and Sheringham to his right. Still Clive Wilson. Young in his wake. Clive Wilson scores his first goal for Tottenham Hotspur. And it all stemmed from the misplaced pass by Andy Thompson, which put Wolves in what became terminal trouble. Young on this surface had precious little chance of reaching it. Wilson still had plenty to do. Young had the chance to atone for his error, but with a finish like that, he had no chance. Thompson will live that moment again and again if the result goes against Wolverhampton Wanderers today. So will Wilson, but for very different reasons. Sheringham. Plenty of options ahead of him, one of whom is Austin. Now it needs a good cross towards Armstrong. Never quite got enough of his head to the ball. The defender was in the way. Austin's cross was well delivered. I'm not sure that Armstrong wasn't using his arm as a lever anyway. Ball. Now Goodman through the centre. A powerful runner. Austin had a start. Oh, that's a real tester. It's come off Walker, and Goodman got the final touch. It's a crazy, crazy goal. Well, he and the defender Austin won't be having a drink this evening. Look at that, it was an easy back pass, but he left it short. And the persistence was the key. Goodman on and on. There was the touch that counted. 1-1. Calderwood. Well, Atkins was clearly shoved off the ball by the arm of Campbell. Osborne towards Eric Young. Oh, it came to Richards, who got behind Sol Campbell. Spurs are looking decidedly uncertain at the back. It's not just the goal. Generally, they look a little uncomfortable. Alan Sugar's having a harder battle today than he had in Geneva yesterday. Wilson. Fox. Thompson sticking with it. Still it's Fox. Jockeying for position. And eventually crossing. Armstrong. Well, it was a clear header. In the end, it wasn't too difficult for Stowell, but he will be asking questions of the defender as to why Armstrong was allowed to get there first. Dean Richards was the man in question. Oh, Mavet's given it straight to Steve Bull. Bull's gone past Calderwood. That's how it should have gone. Goodman and Bull together look a potent combination. They've scored enough goals between them for Wolves this season in the First Division. Goodman the provider, and Bull it was who poked it wide. Wilson. Again, space is opening up. Well, he scored one, and that one was fairly adjacent as well. And considering that before today he'd never scored for Tottenham Hotspur, he's having a decent afternoon. Not bad for a free transfer. Osborne. Bull. Goodman. Oh, sweeping play by Wolves. This is Osborne. Atkins ahead of him. Still they come with Goodman. Armstrong, away from Richards. Still Armstrong, good block. Only as far as Campbell, though. Stahl was relieved to have the chance to clutch that. Well, if it continues like this for much longer, Rocket Ronnie may be on. Goodman. Sliding challenge came from Austin. This is Fox. Sheringham. Now from Campbell's pass, here's Austin. Richards took no chances. And this is Tottenham's first corner after virtually an hour of play. Kasky takes it. Sheringham's unmarked. Calderwood went in there. And Richards again was the last man back. Let's have another go. Kasky again. Eric Young in the way. Armstrong. Was that an arm? Armstrong high in the air. Down from Rankin. Mabbott, good save by Stahl. He did well to keep his feet for long enough to see where the ball was going. Gary Mabbott tends to reserve his goals for the FA Cup. His last one was against Sunderland last season at the same stage of the competition. Austin. Oh, no one's picked up Rule Fox. Could have gone with it himself. Back from Sheringham. No foul. Thompson was the defender. Kasky, deflected cross. Armstrong. Oh! Well, that's as near as he's come all day. He rose ever so well. Got in front of the defender and scraped the post. Well, this was the penalty incident. Thompson seemed to be in his own ground. Goodman, straight to Austin. Sheringham. Armstrong. Not quite into the path of Fox. Ball. Oh, Austin's nicked it back. This is Fox. Armstrong. A foot either side, and that would have been 2-1. It was a rarity that Wolves were caught in possession. Austin must take credit for that, and Armstrong for this header. Very direct, but directly at the keeper. Ferguson. Thompson with the throw. Back from Ferguson. Two in the middle. One of them is Bull. He just couldn't get goal side of Mabbott. Atkins. Rankin. Edinburgh concedes the corner. Rankin's had a steady game on the right-hand side. The big men are all forward. Ferguson's cross, Young, and it was Sheringham of all people, virtually on the goal line. Out by Kasky. Now Fox. On to Armstrong. Balked by Richards. Referee saw nothing wrong. This was the corner routine where the keeper came really into no man's land. It was a battle he wasn't going to win, and Eric Young nearly made him pay. Young's touch wasn't quite decisive enough, and that was Sheringham on the line. Here's Fox. Kasky. Aim for Armstrong. Oh, he's lost Richards. But Richards recovered ever so well. He has such poise, Dean Richards, until he was upended by Campbell. But that's not the first time that he saved Wolves' skin. He is such a presence inside the penalty area. Armstrong got the better of him initially, but not when it really mattered. Mark McGee and Colin Lee. These will be anxious moments for them with just 2.5 minutes to go. Edinburgh. Now Wilson. To be fair to Wolves, they've worked so hard that maybe they've helped to make Tottenham look bad. Sheringham. Now Campbell. Oh, away from Ferguson. Onto Armstrong. Kasky. Credit to guess who? Richards. For another superbly timed tackle. Darren Kasky sensing his first goal of the season. And it looked on. Off Armstrong's pass until the big number 6 intervened. And the two sides must do it all again at Molineux in 11 days' time. Wolves more than deserved their replay. Clive Wilson had given Spurs an early lead in the 13th minute after the first of two fairly awful defensive errors, that one by Andy Thompson. Don Goodman capitalised quarter of an hour later from Austin's error to make it 1-1. The second half was tight. Spurs had the best chance through Armstrong. They didn't take it. And now for the Wolves' lair and a real test of Tottenham's mettle. Today it's finished level.
Thought we started well, did very well, got the goal. A bit unfortunate not to get another goal. And then, without Wolves having to do anything at all, we've actually put them back in the game. We tend to do some things the hard way here. And we've made, obviously, from a defensive point of view, a very poor mistake.
We felt satisfied that we had came with a plan, as it were, and that the plan had worked, and that we got at least what we deserved. I think that it wasn't a case of we should have won, thank goodness it's over, because we could have lost. It was more a case of, yes, we've done the job, we've got the result, and now we go back to our place.
You're 9 games into your reign now. Was that the performance that they were capable of when you first started, or was your stamp on it?
Well, I think that there was certainly, I've not changed a lot of the personnel, so obviously it was inside them somewhere. It came out a bit in Villa, and it started to come out gradually, and we saw a little bit more of it today. I still think we can eventually pass the ball a lot better than we've even done today. At times we've tried to pass the ball and we've given it away unnecessarily, but we'll keep working at that training, we'll keep working it match by match, but we'll get better.
Well, I think in the FA Cup, I think all league form goes out the window, really, and it doesn't matter which league you're playing, really. It's going to be 100 mile an hour all the game, so the pace of the game was quick. Obviously, we're playing against better quality players, and you've got to concentrate harder. So, yeah, it was a bit different. Hard work, but enjoyed it.
What will you say to people that'll say to you, hey, you're favourites now with the replay at Molineux and 28,000 screaming people from the Black Country?
I think they're probably crazy, really. I mean, there's a world of difference between the Premier League at the minute and the First Division, with all due respect to all First Division clubs. And Tottenham are right at the top of the Premier League. I think they'll probably go there fancying the chances, but if they don't give us the respect we deserve, then we'll hopefully punish them.
Well, Wolves did well today. The Tottenham strikers were well held, weren't they, Trevor?
Yes, I thought Wolves did the homework well, as Mark McGee said. They warranted the draw. Spurs won't spark in on all cylinders. Good to see that Darren Arrington's back in training. Perhaps he'll be ready for the bench for the replay. But I think Wolves took the credit. Up front, I thought Ball and Goodman had good movement and stretched the Spurs defence. In midfield, Simon Osborne played well because Osborne had been at QPR, hadn't really found his form. Mark McGee had him at Reading and has gone back and bought him and seemed to have sort of rekindled his enthusiasm. At the back, Neil Emblem, one of 3 central defenders, played well, but the one player I wanted to focus on really was Dean Richards. I thought he was outstanding. Whenever I've seen him, he's looked so composed. 1.8 million by Graham Taylor. We should give Graham Taylor a mention. A lot of money, but he's certainly proving his worth. And here he stays on his feet excellent, and as Armstrong tries to hit the shot, blocks it well. In his timing and reading of the game was superb throughout the afternoon. dominant in the air because of his size, but more than anything, alongside me, Alan will be delighted to see his composure, because here he's got Armstrong and he sees Mabbott join in from behind, and he's reading again, but nothing elaborate, just knocks it off. And the great thing for me, having been a midfield player, is that if you've got a back player like that who just sees you so easily, look, cushions it, knocks it in, and Osborne there able to let it run, hasn't got to touch the ball, and then just knocks it inside. The weight of the pass was outstanding. Here he just chests it. Again, very simple ball, but you see so many defenders just knock it back up as a hopeful ball. Here he nearly got caught out, of course, but he has got a lot of strength, 2 good feet, and used them well there, and comes away and then wins a free kick. He was a very influential figure throughout, and he's an under-21 international already, and you know, if he works well, he's got a chance at the very full level.
Well, we've got Dean Richards plays for England in rugby, so...
Yeah, a bit more aggressive there. I wouldn't like to tangle with him. But no, he's done very well. He's got a lot of potential.
1.5 million, you say, from Bradford?
1.8 from Bradford City.
Yeah.
I mean, Graham Taylor saw that, and certainly, you know, we've criticised him in the past, but I mean, he saw, I think, the ability to play from the back. Mark McGee likes to play that way, so it's useful to have somebody like him there.
Criticised Graham Taylor?
Well, no, people have Graham Taylor because of, you know, the style of play and whatever, whereas Mark is changing their style. But I mean, Graham perhaps didn't get the best of Dean Richards because he tended to play more of a direct play.
Right. But there was one mark-up in the Wolves' defence that you, again, were rather unhappy with, Alan.
Well, I thought it was a decent pass from Andy Thompson. I thought Eric Young got caught unawares here. He just gets caught on his heels, a bit flat-footed. The ball's really close to him, but he lets it go past him. Wilson comes in, Young backtracks, and it's a good hit and a well-taken goal.
Isn't that a fairly dangerous ball to ping across the goal there?
It's only dangerous if you mess it up and somebody goes through and scores, really. But
that's underlining the point.
Yeah, but what happens is, the thing is, what Trevor's trying to say, they're trying to play. Now, when you're trying to play football in defence, everybody's got to be able to play. And Eric Young is a very good player. He's good in the air, he's strong in the deck, but he never strives and plays football. And I think he got caught on his heels there. I think if you had a centre-back, if it had been Dean Richards, he would have gone in that position. He'd been aware of what was coming, and I don't think there would have been a problem.
It was just a moment of non-concentration, wasn't it?
Well, but well, that sums up then. I mean, you can't blame the fullback for that.
Thank you for letting me sum it up. Now, of course, Manchester United have reached the cup final for the last 2 years. This morning they were second favourites at 4-1 to win this year. First this afternoon, though, a difficult-looking away tie against Reading. Our commentator at Elm Park is John Motson.
The unmistakable flavour of the FA Cup. Conditions here at Elm Park may bear little resemblance to Wembley in May, but it's thanks to a cover of plastic sheeting borrowed from Wembley Stadium that the Reading pitch has survived the weather and was past fit this morning. It's sandy in parts, bumpy in others, but are these not the ingredients to bridge the gap between the underdogs and the high flyers? Well, the underdogs Reading have used no fewer than 7 goalkeepers this season. Today, Nicky Hammond is back after a bout of chickenpox. The two 36-year-old joint player managers, number 3 Mick Gooding and number 7 Jimmy Quinn, bring the experience to a side that also includes the seasoned striker Trevor Morley at number 9. Number 5 Adrian Williams played for Wales in Italy on Wednesday. Well, Eric Cantona was not picked by France for their midweek international, but he did score the winner at West Ham on Monday, so United keep an unchanged team, Gary Pallister still out injured. And Manchester United may be one of the last clubs to play a cup tie here. The Reading chairman, John Medeski, has received planning permission for a £30 million all-seater stadium on the outskirts of the city. And also in the director's box, a keen Reading supporter, Mr. Yuri Geller, very good at bending spoons, but cups, especially FA Cups, could be a different matter. Jeff Winter of Middlesbrough, a late replacement, is the referee, and come on you Royals is the shout behind Reading as they kick off, playing from left to right. The fans here have been looking forward to this day so much, to seeing the likes of Cole here, Cantona just behind him, and Giggs on the wing, performing in, for them, unfamiliar surroundings. This is Lee Sharp, number 5, the back heel to Philip Neville. Keane. Dennis Irwin playing at right back. Cole. And there's going to be a problem or two there. Jimmy Quinn had to check his footing because this pitch will be frozen by 4:30, the groundsman tells me. They've done ever so well here at Reading to get the game on. Everywhere you look in the ground, there are people wrapped up against the cold, but they're not noticing it. Not for the moment. 15,000 were able to get tickets. And Manchester United, 2,800 supporters, but all standing. There weren't enough seats. Quinn. Gooding's outside him. Morley in the middle. Nogan trying to get there. Away by Neville. Quinn! Morley! Oh, it trickles wide. Jimmy Quinn, it was a shot really from him. But it caught the end of Trevor Morley, who got something on it. Floated in here by Gooding. It's a difficult ball really for Neville. Jimmy Quinn has the shot, and as Schmeichel spread himself, it rolled off Morley wide of the post. Cantona, he's got help right and left. Ryan Giggs is coming to his aid here, and Andy Cole on this side. This is Nogan. And Quinn. Jones. There's movement both sides here for Reading. Gooding is the player far left. Gilks is coming up just behind him. Gooding's cross. Oh, if Nogan could have got a touch in the 6-yard box, Reading would have been in front. Gooding is doing so well. No wonder Nogan applauds. That's the kind of ball a striker should thrive on. Gooding has driven it in low across the 6-yard box, and there was nothing Bruce could have done if Nogan had got to it. Oh, look at that from the Frenchman. And the ball through to Giggs by Irwin, and this is Cole. Now, the challenge is by Bernal, and referee Jeff Winter wants a word. Andy Bernal caught Andy Cole just on the edge of the area. Well, Jeff Winter gives a yellow card, and Dennis Irwin, possibly a contender from here, or Cantona or Giggs. And it's a weak shot by Giggs. He lofts it back in. And they didn't make the most of that. And Morley sets Reading on their way with Gooding. Jimmy Quinn to the left. Gooding going at the moment on his own. Here's Quinn. They're making strides in the centre now. This is Holsgrove. Now Gilks going through. Morley! Didn't quite get the power into that, or the direction that he would ideally have wanted, Trevor Morley. Free kick, it's Parkinson on Butt, but he took it so quickly that Reading have got back now. Neville, Cole, Giggs, Sharp to his left. Good interception by Gilks, but Giggs got a foot in. Sharp, real chance, Lee Sharp. Oh, and Giggs surely, goal! It's Ryan Giggs for Manchester United. Helped to make it, and certainly scored it. Lee Sharp involved as well. And 37 minutes into the match, the Premiership side are in the lead. Look at the number of players United have got in there. There's 5 of them in the penalty area. Bruce has set Keane away. He's got Giggs to his right, Cole through the centre to his left. Here's Cole. That's Andy Cole. Oh, it shaved the post. It's the end where the United fans are gathered on the terrace. Now we're going to have a substitution here. Phil Neville has gone off on the far side, and Paul Parker, England's 1990 World Cup fullback, has joined the game. just come on, and he's mistimed his first challenge on Gooding, and it's going to be a booking for Paul Parker within a minute of coming on. Well, I think it was a case of Parker still getting used to the pace of the game, to be honest. Anyway, it's a yellow card, and it's for this challenge on Gooding. Was a trip, there's no doubt about that. The reason for the substitution was that Phil Neville wasn't feeling very well, and in fact is being examined by a doctor, hence the appearance of Parker. Here he is now, in fact, the substitute. He's got plenty of support in the penalty area here. Oh, he's gone for the near post, and he's scored! What an extraordinary contribution from Paul Parker. He fooled Nicky Hammond completely, and most of his teammates, I suspect. He strikes that right inside Nicky Hammond's near post, and Manchester United are 2-0 up. Irwin. Keane. Oh, there's Roy Keane. Well, that would have surely sealed it. The Premiership side have taken over here at Elm Park, and Keane, had he managed to find the corner there, would have left Reading chasing a miracle. Offside. That wouldn't have mattered. It's Gary Neville. And there goes Andy Cole. Good ball to him, and a chance here for Giggs coming in. Oh, it runs behind him and Gilks. I wasn't sure where that had gone, Ryan Giggs. But I think the problem here is that the linesman on this side of the field may have been struck by something. Jeff Pettit from Welling. He says he's all right, I think, there, Jeff Pettit. He's got a smile on his face. He's had attention from the physio. And I don't know quite what Jeff Winter does here, apart from check out exactly what was going on. Oh, it's a coin, is it? He's picked a coin up off the pitch, and the police are gathered. Now, that may have repercussions. It's about now that the groundsman predicted the pitch would start to freeze badly, but this is Cantona, and it's important Reading don't freeze here because they're 2 down, and this is Cole, and they've got players up to spare, United. Cole! You still get the feeling it's not quite going for Andy Cole. I'm not so sure that somebody in the middle hasn't said, why didn't you cross it? Oh, it only missed by the width of the post. Oh, it's Parkinson changing direction deftly. Holsgrove thought about a shot. Perhaps he wishes he had had one now. That's Gilks. Quinn. Quinn's cross. Oh, what a good effort. Nogan. Reading's best attempt. Nogan had the opportunity here to make it 2-1. It was a glancing header. Schmeichel made a very good save going to his left. I think it would be fair to say that Manchester United have been a little careless once or twice when they've had the chance to really turn the screw on Reading in the second half. This is Bruce. He's going to show them the way, is he? This is Giggs. Well, Steve Bruce having quite a sortie out here on the right, but it goes the other way to Cantona. Giggs in the centre, still Cantona, Cole, Bruce! Oh, he's missed it! Oh, dear me. Well, he'll have a laugh about that eventually, but not at the moment, because Cantona put that on a plate. Steve Bruce had made such a lot of ground to get into that position. Cantona goes away from Williams, low across the goal. How could he miss? Well, he did. But bursts forward very well from those positions, Nicky. But just look at that. It's a really great run by Butt, and he's pulled it back surely here. And Cantona settles the match in the last minute. 3-0. But what What a run by Nicky Butt, the young midfield player, showing perhaps why Alex Ferguson put so much trust in him this season when Paul Ince left. He surges through here from a deep position, taking defenders in his path, gets clear, looks up, sees what's on and delivers a pullback which is initially meant for Lee Sharp, through the legs of Williams, and there's Eric Cantona, goalkeeper already grounded, 3-0 to Manchester United. Cole. And Manchester United go through to the 5th round of the FA Cup in comfortable fashion. Nicky Butt, a splendid run to make the 3rd and last goal for Eric Cantona. United with Giggs in flying form, able to impose their class on what was obviously going to be a chilly occasion. And one of the highlights, a rare goal from Paul Parker after he'd just come on. Reading did their best, but on the day they would admit it wasn't quite good enough.
I thought if we'd have taken 1 or 2 chances early doors, it might have been a different story, but I was very pleased with the first half performance. We had a couple of chances to clear for the first goal and we didn't. We got punished for that, and of course the second goal, as you've seen, I think it come off Paul Shin. But they're a quality side, and we didn't disgrace ourselves today, and we wish them all the best and hope they go on to win it.
You mentioned that they're a quality side. Were you surprised how well they were able to put their game together in the hectic conditions there?
Yes, it was difficult for both teams because we like to pass the ball about as well, and you get the odd bobble and stuff. Ask Paul Parker about that. He got a nice bobble for the second one, but yeah, they've got brilliant individuals, but they work very hard as a team, and they just had a little bit too much for us on the day, John.
How pleased are you with your own form currently?
Yeah, I'm happy with my form. You know, more importantly, the team's doing well again after we had a sticky patch at Christmas, and now we're starting to play well again.
You come to a ground which is a traditional old football ground. Some of our young players, maybe good experience for them. The last occasion when I can think of which is near to Reading was when we went to Hereford in 1990, and it was much the same in a type of difficult game you can never be sure of. You have to do your job right.
When you put out Hereford in 1990, you went on to win the FA Cup. Do you have that feeling this season?
Well, you can never be sure in the Cup. I never take that for granted. But we're in the next round, and that's good. And we'll just wait and see who we get.
It looked as though it might have been tough for them, that fixture, but they came through with flying colours, United.
Well, it was a dodgy pitch for a kick-off, and you just need 2 or 3 not fancying it and you're in trouble. I thought the first 20 minutes it was all about application and industry as far as United were concerned, rather than fast-flowing football. But individually and collectively they worked very, very hard, and it paid dividends in the end.
Yeah. Reading passed the ball around nicely. They looked good in parts.
They looked good the first 25 minutes. They had 1 or 2 decent chances, and if one of them had gone in, it might have been different. This is a particularly good move. Jones to Gooding, the left-hand side. Brilliant first touch. He goes at Irwin, and a great ball in the box. Nolan comes in, and it's nearly there, but it was a great chance.
Yeah. Now you're going to have a look at some comparative defensive skills for us.
Yeah, I think that there's some areas that you can try and play your way out of trouble, and other areas you can't. This is an area you can play your way out of trouble, and I think the attacker Quinn helps Neville here, because he runs full pelt at him, and all you do is you drop the shoulder, show a bit of composure, and play it simple. And that's an area you can play in. But this area for the first goal, I think you can't play in it. Gilks does well here, but he should just take it to the right-hand side and clear it, but he's all one side, left-hand side. Giggs just waits for him, in, nicks the ball, and then it's all downhill for Reading. Sharp comes in, it's a decent save with the keeper, it breaks to Giggs, and he finishes it off well. And that was vital, the first goal, because after that Reading are always chasing the game, and in the end Manchester United just sat back, hitting the break, and they hit fast, and it could have been 5 or 6.
What was your interpretation of that Andy Bernal foul on Cole? Do you think he might have been sent off by another referee?
He might have done. This is an area that's a grey area. One week we're seeing yellow, the next week we're seeing red. I think that Bernal definitely went for the ball, and there's no doubt about that. But Cole just does him for pace. It's a good United move. Giggs hits it round the corner. Cole's onto it quick. Bernal's the last man. No doubt he goes for the ball there. But he is the back man, and Cole's in goal. and I think it's a goal-scoring opportunity. And as I say, next week it might be red.
There's the law. Do you want to read it out for us, Alan, or should we allow the viewers to read it for themselves? But if a player's going...
I can't read.
If a player, I can hardly read that, but if a player's going through and he's got a goal-scoring chance and he's brought down, then the rule is that he should be sent off.
It's an obvious opportunity to score. I mean, some people might say that Cole was going wide there, but I think he's quick enough and sharp enough to get onto it quick and have a chance at shooting a goal. And as I say, what we're seeing every week is one week it's red, the next week it's yellow.
Yeah.
And I don't think the players know what to expect, and that's important.
So always got to be a certain amount of interpretation there, hasn't there, Trevor? I mean, last week we saw young Kelly sent off for Leeds. Well, they got a double punishment. He got sent off and
I mean, Rob
penalty.
Jones was definitely running towards the goal and would have had the clear scoring opportunity. The grey area is where you suddenly get something like Andy Cole is going just a little bit to the side. The referee might have argued, well, I didn't think he was going towards the goal, but I mean, you know, Alan and I would say Andy Cole would have got onto it and had the shot. So it's the consistency factor. But when you've got the human interpretation, you are going to have those grey areas. And I think players eventually, unless we can get sort of a little bit of continuity, players have to accept the odd...
You see, the one with Kelly last week, as far as I'm concerned, you're going to stop tackling. I mean, Jones is going to the box, Kelly goes for the ball. I mean, no, in my opinion, he went for the ball. All right, Jones does him for pace, but what, you're not supposed to go for the ball in that area. I mean, the referee gives a penalty quite right.
Yeah, he has to give it. This is the point. He has to give it in those circumstances. And the defenders have to realise it. That's at the moment. I sympathise with defenders, but at the moment, the rule as it stands, they've got to be shown the red card.
Thank you both very much indeed. Well, tomorrow's match at Bramall Lane between Sheffield United and Aston Villa is on. Join us at 3:45 for that game live, sponsored by Littlewoods Pools. Then the draw for round 5, which, of course, apart from Manchester United so far, will be full of either-ors. Even as we speak, Messrs Kendall and Little will be thinking about their plans and tactics for tomorrow, but as ever in the Cup, much will depend on Lady Luck. Good night.
McCarthy, and he's got time to get right to the penalty area and have a good long look. It's here!
Steve Bruce having quite a sortie out here on the right, but it goes the other way to Cantona. Giggs in the centre, still Cantona, Cole, Bruce! Oh, he's missed it! Oh, dear me. Parker, but he's got plenty of support in the penalty area here. Oh, he's gone for the near post, and he's scored!